What's up? This is Noah Euphrates, and in this video, we are going to go over the steps that you can take to get set up to crush crypto in 2025. Just know that nothing on this call is financial advice, and do know that the crypto market does have risk, and if you do take any trades or invest or create any exchanges or wallets, please do so at your own risk or consult with a qualified financial advisor. All right, on that note, let's go ahead and dive in here. So I have outlined right here these steps to get set up to crush crypto in 2025. So get ready, we are going to go fast. But the whole goal is to give you as much value as possible and give you a roadmap so you know where to go to get set up in crypto so that you can eventually get to your goals to crush crypto in 2025. So let's go over these steps. The first step that you need to potentially take is setting up an exchange account, whether it's a centralized exchange, which means an exchange owned by a traditional governing body like a corporation, or a decentralized exchange, which is an exchange which is made on the blockchain and technically is not owned by a single entity. We'll talk about your wallet setup, a place where you can actually store and send your cryptocurrency, and talk about setting up your charts so you can actually monitor the prices of cryptocurrencies, and then also your knowledge setup, how you can actually start to learn what strategies to develop and how to analyze the cryptocurrency space. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let's tackle number one, the exchange setup. So big question that people ask is, well, how do I buy or sell cryptocurrency? Like I said, there's kind of two exchanges out there, and we can look at a website here that can show you exactly the top exchanges, and that is coinmarketcap.com. Write this one down, save it as your bookmark. This is like the white pages of cryptocurrency, your directory for everything crypto. And if we go into the top tab here, it says exchanges, and it'll show you the two different types of exchanges. You have your centralized exchanges, which are typically owned by companies, or your decentralized exchanges, which are not technically owned by anyone. Now, there are jurisdiction requirements for each of these exchanges. So depending on where you live, whether it's the United States, whether it's Brazil, whether it's Canada, you will have either access or no access to these exchanges. So it's a little bit of trial and error, but it doesn't take a lot of time, especially when you know where to look. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So in terms of centralized exchanges, this is the traditional business, like your traditional stock trading account, where it's going to be owned by a company. So that's typically where beginners start. And then once they get a little more advanced, they start to go into the decentralized exchange space, where you're connecting directly to Web3 into the cryptoverse. Okay. Now, it does say spot versus derivatives. We're talking about owning cryptocurrency directly right here. We don't need to worry about taking the market short or contract. So if you want to just own the crypto directly, choose spot market exchanges. If you're more advanced, you'll know what derivatives exchanges are as well. So let's dive in. If you want to find a centralized exchange, if you just simply click into the top cryptocurrency spot exchanges, you'll see a list on the most popular exchanges. So these are the exchanges that most people trust. The key is finding an exchange that supports or is available in your own country. So it takes just a little bit of trial and error. If you just go onto the website, you'll know pretty quickly whether or not that exchange is allowed in your country. Also, you can see what type of fiat currencies are traded. So typically, if you see your fiat currency there is likely that currency is allowed to, or you're probably allowed to trade on that exchange. So I can't recommend any exchanges. This is where you have to do your own due diligence. And it's very simple. A few Google searches. Has this exchange ever been hacked before? Is this exchange regulated? These are things. How long has this exchange been around? You know, in terms of size, where does it rank? Is it the 100th largest cryptocurrency exchange, or is it in the top 5, in the top 10? These are all things that you can do very, very quickly. So in this example, we're going to go over Coinbase. Coinbase is one of the exchanges that I use. I do not promote Coinbase, but it is an example that we can use because most exchanges are very similar. So all you'll do to get set up is go to the exchange website. You'll create an account and you will eventually be inside that exchange. So here's an example of one of my teaching accounts in Coinbase, and I can show you, once you've created an account, how easy it is to buy and sell cryptocurrency. So very, very simple. Once you create an account, we're not going to talk about advanced trading, but if you want advanced features, you can go down here. But to buy cryptocurrency, it's simply right here on the right-hand side. Sure, you'll have to connect whatever payment funding sources you'll have for this. We'll just use USDC in here because I have a little, but you can connect your bank account, your credit card, etc. And once you have what you're going to pay with, you can type in how much you want to buy. People think that you have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You do not. You can buy as low as a few dollars in Bitcoin. So here, looking for $10, pay with USDC, buying Bitcoin. But if I want to change to any other cryptocurrency, I can scroll down or search on the assets that Coinbase has. Now, another key point, not all cryptocurrency exchanges have every cryptocurrency on them. So you might need multiple exchanges to find the cryptocurrency that you want, or you can simply just work with the cryptocurrency that is on your exchange. Okay, so say I wanted to buy Algorand, I could click Algorand, I could review my order, and then I could buy that cryptocurrency. Now, let's just say we bought Bitcoin to keep this simple. I went in here, we bought $10 worth of Bitcoin. If you buy that Bitcoin, you will just see your Bitcoin in your assets tab. So here's the different assets. You can see $10 worth of Bitcoin right here. And that Bitcoin is currently stored in a wallet, but it's Coinbase's wallet. It's not necessarily, it's your wallet, but Coinbase actually has that hardware wallet. Now, if you want to send this to your own wallet, which is the next step here, you can actually send or receive, oh, let's get my face out of the way here. You can either send or receive cryptocurrency right over here. So again, if you didn't see that, if you want to say buy cryptocurrency, you can click $10 here. You have your payment method set up and you can click what cryptocurrency. But say you want to send the crypto you already have, you can click send here. And then you can type in the wallet address to send that crypto to. Just make sure it's the right wallet address. That is super critical. All right. The next one is if you actually want to receive, say, Bitcoin from somebody. You'll click the receive button, you click Bitcoin, you click the Bitcoin network, and it will give you your address. And that address, we'll just copy this for now, that address is what you can send somebody to where they could then send you Bitcoin. Again, if I were sending Bitcoin to somebody, say this is somebody else's address, I could paste that address in there and send Bitcoin to that address. So at this moment, you already know how to buy cryptocurrency, how to send and receive cryptocurrency. That's a huge, huge step. Congrats. So now let's move off of the centralized exchange points and move into the decentralized space. So a decentralized exchange, unlike a centralized exchange, is not owned by a single company. It's a protocol on the blockchain, and you can connect your wallet directly to this protocol. You don't need to create an account or anything like that. They don't need to know your information. All you need is your wallet address. So you'll see up at the right-hand corner, this will say connect your wallet. Okay, you can then connect your wallet to the right-hand side here. You'll just type in your password. And then once you are connected, make sure you're on the right protocol. But once you're connected to a Solana wallet, since Raydium only has Solana coins on it, you can then trade your cryptocurrency from token to token. It's actually called swapping. Okay, if I want to swap Solana to Raydium, I could do that. If I wanted to swap Solana to UNFK, we could do that too here. Okay. Quick tip is once your wallet is connected, you definitely want to disconnect your wallet. Once it is connected, let's see here. So once this is here connected, make sure to go down here and you'll see disconnect. And a lot of these decentralized exchanges are very similar. And if we go back to CoinMarketCap, like we talked about, we go to exchanges and we go to spot decentralized exchanges. You can then see here what the top spot decentralized exchanges are. And like I said, there are different chains that these decentralized exchanges are a part of. So make sure that you're connecting Ethereum to Ethereum, Arbitrum to Arbitrum, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, how do you get a cryptocurrency wallet? So there's basically two cryptocurrency wallets. There is a hot wallet, which is a wallet that's connected to the internet and is through software. And then there is a cold wallet, which is through hardware and not connected to the internet. So an example of a hot wallet will be MetaMask. So MetaMask right here is a hot wallet. You can just go onto the Chrome store. They're completely free and you can download that wallet. Just make sure to follow the directions and never put your private seed phrase onto the internet. And once you do have this sort of wallet, you can then sign into the wallet. Let's see here. You can sign into your wallet, and then you can also find what tokens that you have, and you can send crypto from this wallet just like we did in Coinbase. You can receive cryptocurrency, and there is your wallet address. You can just send somebody that wallet address, and all of your tokens will be here in that list. So pretty powerful stuff. Now, if you want to enhance security a little bit more, that's where you typically get a hardware wallet. The top hardware wallet is Ledger. So you can find them at ledger.com. I don't have any affiliation with Ledger. You have to do your own research. I do not promote Ledger. So please do your own research, but these wallets here are not connected to the internet, and they are typically going to be safer. They do cost money, but with a little bit of cost, usually goes a long way when it comes to safety. All right, so let's kind of check in at where we are at right now. So we just talked about exchange setup, centralized exchanges versus decentralized exchanges, wallet setup, hot wallets versus cold wallets, hot wallets being cheaper and more accessible, but also more risky because they're connected to the internet, like MetaMask, or your cold wallets, which are like your Ledger, which are not connected to the internet and are a lot more safe. The next piece is you might want to set up charting software. You might want to actually learn how to see the price charts. So there's actually two ways that I like to show people this. The first one is simply going back and using CoinMarketCap again. So if we go on to coinmarketcap.com, you can actually easily see where the prices are at by simply going down this list or typing into the search bar whatever cryptocurrency that you're looking for. So say we're looking at Toncoin. I can go into Toncoin and actually see the price chart right here. I can click all, so I can scroll out and I can see where this cryptocurrency is sitting at $3.4 compared to its high at say $7.8. You can also see various aspects here, how large the cryptocurrency is. This is the 16th largest cryptocurrency, how large it is by market cap, what the price of the cryptocurrency is, its current volume, its fully diluted value, volume versus market cap, the amount of holders, the total supply versus max supply versus circulating supply. So a lot of different options there. But some people, they like to just look at charts that are very basic like this, but other traders, they like to have charts that are a little more advanced. So here's TradingView. TradingView is probably one of the most popular charting softwares. You can also get started for free. I have no affiliation with TradingView besides that I use it. Please do your own research. I do not promote TradingView, but you can get started for free. And with TradingView, that's actually this view right here, you can actually start to use some tools and get much better views on the crypto market. So say we're looking at Bitcoin versus the dollar, you can then start to do your classic technicals here and understand where Bitcoin is. So for example, we look at maybe the past market highs, understand that when Bitcoin decided to actually break above these highs, that's where Bitcoin had that big move to the upside and is continuing on from there. You can start to learn about your chart patterns. For example, this might be a pattern that you might have been looking at as a trader, as an investor, a nice gigantic cup with handle pattern breakout for Bitcoin, and you can actually develop a way to see these key patterns so that you can spot when potentially opportune areas are in the market. Or you can be one of those people that take a step back and look more at the macro cycle and start to get an idea, is Bitcoin relatively oversold versus overbought? So you don't have to be an expert at this stuff, but the more you do learn, typically the better you get at potentially spotting opportunities, and the charts are a critical piece of this. So hopefully this was very helpful for you guys. This was kind of that really fast way to show you how to get set up. This is just on the surface level of what you need to do. If you have any questions or want next steps on what you need to learn, we can take it down that avenue. So hopefully that you enjoyed. And at this point, when you do have your exchanges set up, when you know how to buy and sell cryptocurrencies, when you do have a wallet set up, when you can connect to the DeFi space and actually make an exchange on a decentralized exchange, when you have the chart set up to where you can know where the price is, relatively speaking, this is where you can now start to build your knowledge base. Building your knowledge base is the key piece once you have everything set up so that you can actually have strategies to invest or trade in this market. So I hope that helps. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you guys on the next video.